Oh, look at me. I worked it out today. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. I love that my feet don't touch the ground.
I love it too. You know, one of those like art installations where like a giant chair and you sit on it as an adult and you look like a kid. That's you on my couch.
Hello. But
Yeah.
I know you're taller than me, but I feel like you're like...
I feel like Daddy Longlegs on here today when I look at that
maybe
gap.
because I've really sat
I've
up
got,
like there's a carrot up my
I've put a-
culo,
you know.
maybe. No, but that's how I'm sitting up tall.
Am I living? Oh, what a funny thing to say.
Shall not be repeated.
Taking vegetarian to a whole new level.
Good pick.
Good pick. Oh, good crop this year. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Livin. We're your hosts,
Yeah.
Vince Fusco.
And I'm Nancy Timpano.
Yeah.
G'day.
G'day.
G'day, Cobber.
That's like the most ocker open. I think
G'day,
we've
Cobber.
done. G'day, Cobber. Hang on there, Sheila.
Hang on.
How you going?
Oh, that's
Let's have a yarn today, Nance.
That's random. Yeah, we are going to have a yarn today. And our yarn today is, maybe we've touched on it, like just here or there throughout all our, 73 episodes, something like that.
I love that we're just straight into it. Though.
Crazy.
Like our preamble was so tight, and we
Yeah.
pushed through the ocker, and then we're straight into it.
Yeah, I know, random.
No,
But that's
love
us.
it. No, go for it.
Love it.
Direct,
No?
straight shooters, mate.
No, do you want me to make a coffee or like?
I've already had one.
Are we meant to
Do you want a
do
croissant?
something else? That's hilarious. But
We'll talk
anyway,
about that later.
talk about that later. Yes, today's episode is a topic that I'm sure you have all heard of, the term, and that is imitation a form of flattery?
Or is it the highest form? Because the saying goes that imitation is the highest form of flattery.
And I'm calling, I hate to say the swear word, I'm calling bullshit.
Wow.
I'm calling bullshit.
I'm saying wow, but Nance, I'm going to tell you, I agree with you. And I only say that because I know the context. So
Yes.
open it up. When
Yes,
you call
let's.
bullshit on this sentiment,
Yes.
the old adage that imitation is the highest form of flattery, you say bullshit.
Yeah.
Explain
I
it.
say bullshit if it's coming from, when it's coming from the right place, like when you're coming from a place of admiration and you acknowledge that, wow, you guys did a good thing. You know what? I'm going to incorporate some of that into my work. Or I do it all the time. If someone puts up a post, I'll message them saying, oh my God, I love this. I'm going to use it.
Yeah,
I will.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not even they're sharing like a random post. So it's not like, so I'm saying, oh my gosh, thanks for sharing today. Really needed to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm going to use this one today. So I'm saying when it comes from a place of like, the sneaky sneaks, the ones that keep it quiet or where they got the idea from, and then they put it out there and make themselves look like they came up with the idea.
And when you say that, you mean more from like a content
Yeah, just
or
anything.
just what, I guess, like the
It could
approach.
be anything. It might be something like, we've had the episode before, haters gonna hate, right? The ones that watch.
Yeah.
The ones that watch, they won't like, they won't
Yeah.
share,
Just
they won't even
observing.
follow. They'll just
Yeah.
log in when they want to have a little sneak.
Everybody's got that.
You know what I
Everybody
mean?
has somebody. And I wonder, like, do you do it? And that's really just a question for the audience. Like, do you have people that you observe and you sneak on?
Yeah, but not like privately. Like if they're like
Yes,
people like,
okay.
oh, have a look. They're there to be looked and I'll look.
Oh, look and I'll acknowledge.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
And if I
Okay, yeah.
like what they're doing, like, even share.
Even
whatever.
share. Or like you said, I like that you message and you're like, I love that. I'm going to use that.
Yes.
As opposed to those who see what you're doing
Correct.
and then do it themselves.
Yeah.
And look, I've been victim of it.
Yeah.
As
Oh,
far
yeah.
as like I've definitely
100%. And we've been victim of it together.
100%.
We've,
Ours was funny because ours was like a blatant just copy and paste job.
pretty much.
And
Yeah,
that was-
change a couple of words.
That was the shocking part.
Yeah.
Because it was like we knew what it was before.
Mm,
We saw what it was after when it got
Yeah.
changed by
yeah,
the culprit.
yeah,
And it was like, that's
yeah.
interesting.
Very
the timing.
interesting.
And look, I'm also someone who understands that we do live in a world where information, content, ideas,
Yep.
nothing is really original
No,
anymore.
no.
Right? So, yes, there is, of course, going to be overlap.
Yeah.
There is going to be things that,
Yeah.
sound the same in their message. They
Yep.
look the same
Yep.
in, the things. But if it's an original idea or the
if
thing
you've
for me,
changed your original idea all of a sudden and it's become someone else's.
But when it's not from a good place,
Correct.
when it does come
And
from
you
that
haven't
place
acknowledged.
but when it just comes from, I'm going to basically take that template, copy it, and then put it out and take that vibe.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell when it's inauthentic.
Yes.
You can tell when it's not real to that person, or
Yeah.
like that's not their way of speaking. That's not their personality. They wouldn't do that.
Correct.
And you can see that they're masking that by putting on somebody else's costume almost.
Yes.
And doing that.
And then, like, they've been in this lane the whole time, but then it's fine to change lanes, but then it's not genuine, and you can tell. It's like, hang on a minute, that's not your message.
Yeah.
Stay in your own lane, people.
And that's not to say,
and even if it's similar, but make it
yours. Make it yours.
Yes.
I think that's the thing as well, because you're right. There's no change lanes.
Well, exactly.
I think changing lanes is fine. And so even the sentiment of like stick to your lane.
Yeah. It can be blurred.
You're not saying that.
Yeah, I
you're
know.
not saying that in the sense of like there's no room here. Get
Yeah.
out of our,
Yeah.
or it's more just why change? Why like you were doing great.
Yeah.
You were doing fantastic.
Yeah.
Why did you then need to swap strategy? Feels like you're very much copying
Yeah.
or imitating,
Yep.
but it's coming from the bad place. Like you said before, when it comes from a good place,
Yes.
and I've
Oh,
done that,
oh my
but it's the
God.
learning. That's when you learn from someone, or
Yeah.
you're following in the path of those who trailblazed before you.
Yes.
And again, having had that done to myself,
Yep.
I can tell immediately, and I can see it. I see it every single day
Yep.
on Instagram, on socials, on web, on different mediums where I can see, oh, that's what I did.
Yeah.
That person is learning from it, and they're trying it and they're emulating it, and they're doing great at it. And it's because they're coming from a place of growth, admiration,
Yep.
respect, and courtesy.
Yes.
Versus
Courtesy.
we're going to do it
Courtesy.
to try and just piss on it or copy it and try to succeed at the same level.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't do that. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. And look, we're not the people to shout out specifically if you're going to message us and say, who is it? Who is it? Nah, not us.
Never.
Not us, but we see it.
We see it.
We see it. We see it.
We are aware.
We're very aware.
And the funny thing was, it wasn't even us because we're not looking at it. Again,
It got
we
brought
don't-
to our attention.
It got
a
brought
few
to our
times.
attention by a listener or two who came to us and said, hey guys, have you noticed this? Or have you seen that?
Yeah.
That was the thing. So again, our community, thanks to you guys, because
Yeah.
again, it shows how tight we've become over the last 18 months,
Yes.
19 months. We've been,
we have the
together
Livin
now.
police.
The Livin
The
Police.
Livin-
Oh my God, I love it. Hang on.
The Livin police are looking out for us. And I love that you are protective of us because I'm very protective of us. Oh, yeah. Hey,
Here we go. Here we
we've got
go.
a photo of you and me in our police hats.
We
Insert photo here.
There. Insert photo here.
Yes, about there. We'll do that.
Perfect.
Okay.
If you're watching, you can
Lovely.
see that. If not, check it out on Instagram. Yeah, I love that.
I love that you had that ready to go. Yeah, so anyway, when I was in a bit of a mood because, yes, something had been brought to our attention that, have you noticed so-and-so's blah, 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 blah. And that sounds very much about what you guys are about. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And then I got a little bit in my head for a little while. And I went and I jumped in the shower and I thought, oh, I need to get out of this mood. Anyway, so I jumped in the shower and before I did, I just went onto Spotify and I literally just punched in imitation form of flattery.
I love that
right?
about Spotify. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, and what I did, and I'm not just taking this without calling them out as well. And I don't know this podcast. I do now, but anyway, I punched it in, and the title came up, episode 3 of, oh my gosh, I can't read that. I need to make it bigger. Avalos Car Media Group is their podcast, or there must be their sponsor or something, but that's what it says on there. Avalos Car.
Have a look.
Yeah. And the episode I listened to was episode 3, Is Imitation a Form of Flattery? And this is where the lady speaking, she's actually not talking about the same thing you and I are talking about today, but she came from a place of real estate. I think she's American. And she came from a place that, you know, she'd had people working for her, under her, this, that, the other. Then they've gone off and copied exactly
Yes.
her model, her work model that she'd come up with and all of that. And then she's the one that like said it loud and clear. And that's why I said it. And she goes, is imitation a form of flattery? I call bullshit.
It's a funny thing because
So that's where I got it from.
I think it's great. And I agree. I agree with all of the sentiments that we've
Yeah.
had today. I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
If it comes from the bad place, rubbish, bullshit,
Yeah.
you're just crap.
Yeah.
If you are doing it for the right reasons, love it.
Yeah.
I welcome it.
Yeah.
Go for it, go for it, go for it.
Yeah.
As you were just explaining that,
Yes.
and you mentioned real estate, started
Yeah.
me thinking about like industries and some of the other things that I guess they do come into account here, right? Trends.
Yes.
So trends happen
Yeah.
for a reason because
right.
they obviously work and they do take off and all of society sees it. It's accelerated because of things like social media,
Yep.
right? So trends, colors, marketing trends, things
Yep.
like that. So like real estate, a friend of mine, very, very well-known real estate agent here in South Australia, worked between here and New Zealand for a period, came back after working for these big, big companies and he went out on his own. Fantastic. If you're in the Glenelg area, Costello & Co. Real Estate, go see Stu and he will look after you. He's the best.
Stu will look after you.
Seriously,
There's an ad.
he needs that on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm going to get Costello & Co. to sponsor an episode.
There you go.
Yeah, done. Stu, we're going to talk.
Stu, look after us.
But what we, it was so good. When they were doing their branding, they did Steve McQueen Bullet Green,
Ooh.
like the car green from the movie Bullet. Beautiful. It's like my jacket. You know, my jacket.
Yes. Yes.
And it's funny because at the time, they were the only real estate agency with that colour.
Yeah.
Across the last 2
Yeah.
years, that colour is now Bell Property.
Yep. Yes.
CBRE use
Yes.
that.
Yes.
I've seen at least three, four others I'm trying to think of now.
The exact green.
Like
now
that green
yeah.
it's on trend. It's actually just a marketing trend. So a lot of people adapt to that. Same thing goes with what I guess we do. It happens in every industry.
Yep.
But you got me thinking, right? Because I was thinking back to 2010, I was directing and producing productions.
Yep.
So I was doing theatre productions, TV productions and whatnot. And into 2010, I produced a musical and Facebook was relatively new still.
Yep.
But I didn't spend $1 on marketing nets.
Yeah.
I used YouTube and I used
Yep.
Facebook and like tagging and all these different strategies we came up with to sell tickets to our show. And we sold out the whole season in about 2 weeks, extended the season, sold that out in 24 hours. And we actually outsold one of the major theatre companies in Australia from
Yep.
Sydney who did the same show. They did the Australian premiere.
Yep.
I did the South Australian premiere.
Yep.
Fantastic, fantastic show, right?
Yep.
We won Show of the Year, Musical of the Year, Performer of the Year, just killed it. Beautiful. It was so successful what we did that the license holders from New York caught wind and asked the question, how did you beat a Sydney company
Yeah.
as far as ticket sales, your marketing, your promotion? What did you do? So I explained the social media strategy I developed. I said, this is how I approached it. This is what we did. And they said, we love it. This is now going to be the industry standard for the license of this show. For the Australasian region, if somebody licenses it, they get your marketing
Yep.
and they have to try and replicate that. I said,
Yep.
I love that.
Yep.
What a nod.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's where that sort of starts. The following years, beyond that show, every other theatre company I was either around or
Yep.
saw or following started doing these things. So again, it's more of a trend by that point.
Yep.
Video diaries. No one had done them when
Yes.
I started doing them. Video diaries then started coming out. No one had the same success as far as like engagement, likes, follows,
Yeah.
and conversions to ticket sales
Yeah.
that we did.
Yeah.
And everyone still is like, well, what was the difference? It's the authenticity
Yeah.
that we brought to it. It was still new. And we repeated it again. Like I did the same process again for another 2 shows that I produced subsequent years. Same success. Other companies still doing it? Not the same. It comes back to the intention behind the
Yes.
action. I see it now with the, MC things.
Yeah.
And here's what I really want to hook back to, I guess, as my key message here with all of these things, be that trends or stick to your lane or how you respond to it. Not you
Yeah,
listening
yeah.
and or us. But you have to block it out. And it can be
Yeah.
frustrating. And there are definitely days where I see somebody do my exact scripting
Yeah.
exactly, and present it how I would present it, but it's not working for them. And it's almost like I can see it and I want to say to them, try this for you. No, truly, because I feel like I see people dance. I see people for who they are. So do you.
We do.
We see them for who they are. We see the good. We see what they're trying to do, and we help bring that out.
Yeah.
That's the kind of people we are.
That's right. But you just triggered a memory, and I think you'll think back of what I'm talking about here. But when you said when it comes from the right intention, because I've definitely had, and I know we've had people, some people might say in front of you, in front of other people, oh, I love you. Oh, I love you.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there going, I can't stand there and say, oh, I love you too if I don't.
Yeah.
I'll either do the awkward laugh, or I'll just be silent. I'll just be silent,
it's true, yeah.
right? Because I've had people in front of me, and to onlookers, they might think, geez, Nance, you're a bitch. You're not reciprocating. And I'm like, no, because it's fake for me to reciprocate, because in front of these people, they're going, oh, I've known you for so many years. I love you.
But we've only spoken twice in so many years.
Yeah.
And
So,
you only say this when,
when there's other people around, and then I'll walk past them when it's just the two of us and they look that way, and I'm happy to look that way, because you know what? I haven't changed. I gave you nothing that day.
Yeah.
You gave me lots.
Yes.
But today you've got nothing.
Yeah.
You've got nothing.
Because there's no audience.
No. And the other thing is, there's a form of sort of naivety that, we've both been through the industry, for some years. And for the young ones and whatever, maybe I remember we got a shout out. I'll talk generally here. Okay. We got a shout out, right?
Yep.
A few of us got a shout out a while back, right, about something. And the funny thing was, for an onlooker's point of view that doesn't have the knowledge or the knowledge or the feeling that we know where it came from, right? We got a shout out, but wait. So there was like maybe a collage on their screen.
Okay.
A collage of people that they shouted out. But wait, on our photo, it was you and I, no denying, it was you and I. The name of our Livin podcast was cut off.
Yeah.
Right, cut off. So it was just you and me. And then the person next, there was about 6. So the person next didn't really have a title. The faces. So if you didn't know our faces, you're not going to know how to find us. Our tags were swept to the side.
So silent tagging it.
Silent tagging.
Yep.
It's like we see it when you know what you're doing in the industry. Like we see it. Like you swipe over so people can't then go, oh, who's that? Oh, I might follow them.
Yeah.
But then in the hope that you go, oh, someone shouted me out.
Let me reshare.
So when we reshare, they get the extra viewing.
Yep.
And we get nothing because our name isn't there. Our tag isn't there. Yeah. But people go, oh, isn't that lovely and so they gave you a shout out. And I sit there and I go, but did they?
But did they give us a shout out?
But did they? They put my head on something. Who knows whose head that is? Is it now? I didn't have a name, didn't have a tag, didn't have anything. So we're not stupid. Do it from a place of realness, genuine, or just don't do it. I'm not asking you to.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah. And yeah, no, you're 100%
You know
right.
what I'm talking
it's like
about,
you said. I didn't change. I gave you nothing that day.
I gave you nothing. So I'm going to give you nothing today as well.
The same, 100%. And that goes back to, I guess, what I was saying before about how we view it and how we respond to it, because we see it, right? We've made that very clear. We see it. We know about it. That's fine.
And sometimes if we don't see it, we get told about it. So thank you again.
And look, vice versa. I'm sure people look at some of our content as well and go, oh, you're copying them because you're talking about the same things. And you can be like, okay, great. Again, is it a trendy topic? Is it something that is trendy? The amount of times we've done shows that we've recorded, released, and then months later, weeks later, I'll be listening to another podcast series that I listen to, and there's so many in my rotation, that they talk about the same topics. And I'm like, oh, we just recorded that a month ago.
Yeah.
But like I haven't heard this episode. You know what I mean? So again, that comes back to the coincidence of things, which does happen. And again,
there's a difference.
There's a difference.
Coincidence and copying.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's a big difference. But also then how you respond to it. So for me, and I know you do the same thing, it's about keeping our focus on what we're doing.
Yeah.
Keeping our eye on our path, on our goal, our objective, right? So I could look at everyone in my industry. I could look at that and I could spend all day watching and going, oh, that looks like what I'm doing. Oh, that's good. I'm going to take that. Oh, that's good. I'm going to try that. Or they're doing what I'm doing. But instead, I just don't.
No, and definitely neither do I as well because,
Because it's irrelevant. And when I see it,
and
even
then
if
it
it annoys
changes
me,
us.
well, to me, it actually fuels me because I go, I'm on the right path. I am trailblazing. If I'm doing something that people are emulating or trying to copy
Yeah.
or imitate,
Yeah.
I'm obviously doing something right.
Yeah.
My challenge then that I love is how do I elevate it next?
Yeah.
Like, because again, that trend will take off or that
That's right.
will become the thing that everyone does for a period. I want to stay ahead of the game.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly trying to think, how can we do something different? How can I elevate that experience? How can I film that a little bit differently? How can I change it to the next level? And then when I see them start following that, that's again when I go, great, that worked.
Yeah.
So I use it as a bit of a barometer and a guidepost for myself to keep moving up.
Yeah. And because you come from the production side of it in that sense as well. So you're trying to elevate. I actually don't try, and I don't actually, like, I get told or I might see a few things and go, ugh, roll my eyes, here we go again. But I can't go there because I don't want to go there, firstly. And then you'd be able to tell, the ideas that we come up with or, an idea I might throw at you hasn't really come from another place. It just hasn't come from that place at all. And the other thing that I find really, really funny is, the fake likers, those ones that sort of pretend to like you, but because we are the energy barometers that I've been called before.
Hello.
I feel it.
Human lie detectors, Vince and Nancy.
The ones that say, like, if you're having a conversation with a group of people and they'll go, oh, yes, I'll be talking about something. And they'll go, yeah, I saw that. And I'm thinking,
how did you?
So you did see it.
You did see it.
You didn't like it. You didn't comment. You didn't share it. Oh, but you saw it.
It's the silent watchers, the observers.
Yeah, and these aren't the ones that, I'm not talking about the genuine ones at all, but I'm talking about the ones that know every single thing about me, but I wouldn't think that they know about me at all. I don't even think that they know I exist, but they know everything about me. They're watching. But yeah, it's just a funny little topic. So yes, imitation can be a form of flattery if it comes from the heart.
Yeah, that's right.
If it comes from the heart, if it comes from the right place, if you're willing to acknowledge where you got your idea from, go for it. Absolutely. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
I think so.
But then when it's coming from a form of jealousy, that's gross.
Somebody said something the other day,
That's gross.
which I loved. Were you there? I feel like you might have been there, although we're just together so much these days. Just ingrained. But it was, especially with friendships.
Yes.
As soon as there is a hint of jealousy,
It's
over.
Red flag. So yeah,
and I think that there are, I understand varying degrees of emotional context and complications in your own self and those around you.
Yeah.
But with friends, and I think I've said it before on here, how years ago, I'll use my cousin as an example, my best friend in the world. Him and his mate, one of them, started hanging around with my friends at my house all of a sudden. Like, not all of a sudden, but they were there a lot more.
Yeah.
And we loved it. And one night we said to them, guys, you're here a lot. When are you seeing your mates? And they go, oh, it's funny. Whenever we're with our mates, like our long-term friends from school or whatever, like we'll have dinner every now and then. But as soon as you get up and leave the table, straight away everyone at the table is talking about you.
Ooh.
Straight away, they're all like, did you believe what he said? As if this bloke's doing that.
Yeah, no.
They
Gross.
said, and they said, we've been aware of it for a while, but it sort of just comes to the forefront. And they said, but what we've noticed watching you guys is as soon as you guys get up from the table, everyone goes, isn't he amazing? Isn't that amazing what he's doing?
Yeah.
The support that we offer each other, the conversation, when people say, oh, I'm at work, I'm getting a promotion this week, I'm working really hard for that. There's never like, oh, do you think you're ready for that? Or that conversation of like, oh, good for you, mate. And on the inside, you're burning. It's such a genuine uplift that our friendship circle have. And this is why I'm so thankful for my circle of friends. And you're saying, you know what I mean? Like, I know you're the same.
And sometimes it gets smaller, but that's fine.
100%. And that's
getting
okay.
It's getting smaller. And
I would rather that. Because
100%.
even the ones that are deep, who maybe were part of the wider group,
Yeah.
the ones who are still genuine and love like you would love and look after each other and support and push each other to be better, when you do see them, it's great.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've got a few friends like that who we don't see each other. We see each other once every 3 months.
Exactly the same.
But when we do, it's the best love and genuine affection and adoration and respect for one another versus the ones who you can tell suck you dry.
Yes.
It's funny. That was my vibe check today.
Yeah, they call it
about surrounding yourself with people who push you to be better and who motivate you and have good energy and good positivity and no jealousy, because the ones who have that jealousy, even a hint of it, it poisons the well.
It does. And I call them zappers for me.
I call them vampires.
I know, I call them zappers because I'm like, yep, they zap everything from me.
Yeah.
And they're off and they use it and they do their own thing. But yeah, they've just zapped it. Well, they just come to me when they need a bit of zapping from me. And it's like, nah.
And I think that those type of people, they crave that.
Yeah.
They need the energy or that little bit from somebody else.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like you're a battery. You energize other people.
Oh.
So when you are around a zapper, they just take.
Oh, yeah, take.
Whereas I feel like when you're around someone,
Yeah.
you energize them and then it comes back to you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It charges you up as much as it
exactly.
charges
That's like, you know,
them.
you have some catch-ups and you walk away and your cup is full. You feel...
And others
then,
you walk away and you're like,
oh my God, they sucked the life out of me. You know, I just thought of that. Who is it? Take a leave it, only please believe that we are never gonna be acceptable.
Respectable. Is it respectable or acceptable?
Respectable. I think it's respectable.
We're gonna
the two
find out.
girls.
Have a good
Oh my
time.
gosh. I think my friend Sally actually just put it up last night.
The
actually,
Bangles? Banana?
No,
it's not
no,
Banana.
no. I think Sal, you just put this up on the song you put up last night. I'm going to find it right now because I think it was. Keep talking.
All right, well, you find that. That was a real hard gear change out of...
I'm sorry, but
No, I
that
loved
song
it.
is just perfect for the take.
Well, I think that sort of wraps up that topic.
Yeah.
While you look for that. We mentioned croissants before. Nan's rolled up today with...
Oh, that's so funny.
because
Yeah.
she's the best. She rolled up today with my favourite almond croissant from your side of town. Abbott's and Kinney do the most sensational almond croissant.
Yeah.
It's my wife's favourite, Joy's favourite, my favourite. I cannot get enough of it. But this morning I went out because I thought to myself, Nancy's coming out. We've got a day full of recording, a day full of meetings. I want to look after Nance. She brought a treat for me last week, so I'm going to go get her something gluten-free from the most amazing gluten-free. This is like such shout-outs today, guys.
I know, that's right. That's us.
Gluten-free Creations on Northeast Road up here do the most incredible gluten-free and vegan sweets and savouries, Nance. So I went out this morning, got you a beautiful gluten-free treat and a savoury for lunch because I know you're going to be here all day. I want to make sure you're fed.
I know.
And then I thought to myself, well, I want something. So I went to another bakery and saw the almond croissant. Didn't look great, but I thought, you know what?
Oh, well, give it a go.
Got to give it a go.
Do it for the team.
Take it for the team. And then I was like, but I want coffee from somewhere else. So I stopped somewhere else for a coffee on the way back.
Hilarious.
And then they had almond croissants, which looked great. So I thought, well, it'd be rude not to. And I can do a A/B test here between the other one.
ABC, actually.
Well, Nance rolled up and says to me, how much do you love me? I
I
said,
got
a lot.
out the
Why?
car, but wait, I thought I was a saint for knowing I had this treat that you enjoy or were just going to love. So I thought I was driving up here and I was like elevated because I'm like, I'm a saint. So I got out the car and I yelled out, how much do you love me? And I hadn't shown him the brown paper bag yet. And he was like, yeah, okay, a bit. And I'm like, no, how much? And then I waved the brown paper bag.
She goes, how much now? I said, wait till you see what I got upstairs.
And so my gift ended up
I
looking
didn't mean
at
to
this
diminish your croissant. If it makes you feel any better, your one croissant is equal to 3 of those other croissants.
Okay, but yeah, it was just funny.
So what we're saying is there's actually the Fusco Bakehouse upstairs right
There
now.
is. And I found it is Mel and Kim.
Mel and Kim.
Take.
Well, just chuck it on and we'll
right.
take us out. Take us
right.
out with it.
Oh, what do I do? Am I going to be able to hang on?
We won't play all of it because of licensing and legalities, but we'll start with a
All right. How do I?
Nancy
why is it-
DJing, guys.
Hang on. Wait. Why isn't it playing?
I don't know the answer.
Oh, here we go. The
Just Nancy
volume's not
things.
up. Why? Look, help.
You got headphones somewhere?
No. Oh, that's killed it. We might have to
Ugh.
edit this last little bit out. Ah, the volume's down. Stupid. No.
Oh my God.
No, it's not that, is it?
Respectable. Have a great week. We'll see you next week on an all new episode of Livin.
So thanks, Sal. That was a very timely post you did last night.
Thing to say.
That was perfect. Unplanned.
Gosh.
There you go.
Nah, great. Love it. Do I have time to smash a croissant between episodes today?
Well, I've actually got what if I got a gluten-free eclair?
Yeah.
Who am I? Let's go.
Done.